And welcome back. We are joined with representatives from the Belize Coalition of Service Providers here to talk to us about their third annual Services Week. Joining us today is Mr. Hugo Moguel, who is the president of the BCSP, Mr. James Sanker, who is the president of the Music Industry Association of Belize, and Mr. Beresford Jr., who's representing the Office of the Directorate of Foreign Trade and Ministry of Foreign Trade, Investment, Trade and Commerce. So they are here to talk to us. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. So Mr. Moguel, tell me a little bit about the annual Services Week. Why an entire week?
An entire week because services is just so large, and we've been struggling over the last few years to really tell the story of services and how important it is to our economy. It is a large part of our GDP. The numbers we can't even really pinpoint. We can guesstimate of the percentages, but because there isn't that much participation. Why? Because there hasn't been a body like this before. And what the coalition is actually an amalgamation of different groups that are service providers. So for example, I'm the president of the Real Estate Association, Arab Association of Real Estate Brokers of Belize. Arab is the member of the coalition. James represents the music industry, another service sector. And so the coalition is made up of these groups, and it's there to really facilitate services, improve standards, and help organize these groups. So Services Week is really an opportunity for us to showcase what has been happening, what we've been doing over the past few weeks, and really nail it home how important services are to our economy.
Definitely. Well, let's backtrack a little bit and tell us a little bit, for the public, a little bit more about the BCSP, when you were formed, why the idea came about to have a coalition of service providers within our country.
You
can go ahead.
Being a founding member, we basically set forth probably like in 2008, where it was just an organization of people that saw this vision of making services a strong point for our economy. And then we got incorporated in 2012, right? Right, in 2012. And since then we've been doing a lot of statistics that was lacking about the service industry, and try to focus on some major service industries and take those to another level where people can actually see their productivity. Since then, we have an office, and we have been operating as this umbrella organization for all the other associations of services, and since then we have actually brought a lot of those statistics that we have been collecting and fostering to the point where we are included now into our GDP. Before that, services wasn't calculated into our GDP.
So it's a lot about information gathering.
Yes.
Okay, so Beresford, tell us a little bit about the role of the DFT with this, within the context of the Service Week, and of course within the context of joining up with the BCSP.
Well, I think for us, primarily we are the ministry that helped to launch the project, and the department that helped to launch the project back and get it to the incorporated status that it is. We support the administrative functions of the Secretariat for the BCSP in terms of getting them a place to reside, administrative staff support, helping them to source interns when needed. But in terms of the week, it's more about cooperation as opposed to us, dictating anything to them. Because we have a lot of bright people working in these associations who have the vision. What they just need is the government support, and that's where we really come in. If we need to do any additional presentations or provide any information on what's happening in the region or internationally that could feed into them to help support them, to expand their services and to expand their reach, then that's where we would come in.
Definitely. And you talk about what's happening in the region, and your theme is actually standardization focus, export-driven opportunities for diverse services. So in terms of where we are at Belize, the context of Belize and within the Caribbean region, how export ready are we in terms of, offering services as something that we can export not only to the region but hopefully globally?
Historically, there have been different sectors that have been exporting their services
Okay.
and have been doing very well at it, but there's always room for improvement.
Definitely.
And there's always room to improve standards, real estate, offshore services.
Yeah.
These are all services and we're exporting the service. So that's a clear example of what has been happening now with tourism and how that industry has been growing. There are a lot of support services that go along with tourism, for example, spa and wellness or music.
Yeah.
And so there are tremendous opportunities for more people to become involved, to see how things are done in different areas, how things can be done in a better way here in Belize. And that's really what the coalition does. We've sought funding. We've gotten 5, I think, ladies in the spa and wellness sector certified internationally. Now, the coalition was integral in getting that funding in place to bring the specialists over, to get them trained. We've actually sent Belizeans here to go and get training abroad
that's
so that
great.
they become certified trainers.
Yeah.
You see, so then we have the opportunity now at our office where people that want to become certified can sign up and go through a specific program that's internationally recognized,
Yeah.
and you fit with international standards, and so these people can go and perform their services anywhere in the world.
Definitely.
So that's tremendous, and these are people that started learning maybe as a side business, maybe from somebody else, maybe for working for somebody else. Now they can in effect offer their own services, have their own business.
Yeah.
So it's a
And recruit regionally as well.
Absolutely, and that's what we've been doing. We've highlighted certain sectors or certain associations that are more advanced, and so from where we are, we can set the example. We can set the roadmap for others to follow. So concentrating on those has allowed us to do that and set the example for the others.
That's fantastic.
And if in relation to the services, you say your real estate and our brother from Hattieville is in the music industry, what other services we're talking about?
Spa and wellness. We formed a contractors association, something that's desperately needed right now.
In the building industry?
Yes, sir. And so, everything comes with challenges. Amongst our members are the Architects Association, the music industry, ITC as well.
In terms of like professional service, the traditional services like legal services, accounting services, is that something that's also
Hard to export that because the region is very closer to the
very
universities, no?
saturated, definitely.
But we could talk music a little bit, like are there studios in Belize producing
Oh, yes.
quality stuff that can be
Right.
exported?
Yes, and that's one of the things that we're, from the association level, is trying to develop these standards because standards are very necessary. Yes, we have some
Definitely.
very good studios in Belize that are producing high quality studio.
And it's easy for artists to get into those studios and do their thing?
Yes, studios, the business of studios have changed. The whole music business have morphed over the last few years. Mostly the studios now are not paid per hour anymore. You have to be attached to the studio in some other significant way, either working on a project or something like that. Because
But that makes it easier for the artists,
Yes, that
or,
make it
or
easier.
harder?
No, that make it easier.
Yeah?
That make it easier because you don't have to take money out of their pocket for actually walk into the studio, which was
Yeah.
one of the problems that we had with
Okay.
our artists actually getting. But if you have a good project and you have somebody that will work with you on a particular project, then the
Where
studio
would be
will-
your market? Where would you be aiming to get music into?
I just went to Womex. Womex is a World Music Expo, and
Where?
that was in Spain this year. It's in Europe, and just to give a little history, Calypso Rose won the World Music Award, but the music was produced here in Belize by Stone Tree Records.
Oh, nice.
For the songs that she...
Yeah, for the songs that she's there. And
How
most
come we just hear about that? And if it is a market.
Well, that's why these gentlemen
Well,
are
that's why we're
here, so
here.
that we can get
That's
that
why here I'm trying to tell
information.
you. Ivan Duran.
Okay, well, you heard it on Channel 5
You heard
first, no?
first, right?
Yeah.
So Ivan Duran actually gave that very prestigious introductory speech that is now being played all over the world. He just sent me another link where in some other countries that speech is being
He
played.
was one of the
again.
driving force with Andy
He was
Palacio, no?
Also, who also entered that market very, very successfully, right? So if you look at the European market, to answer your question, if you look at the European market,
That's an area.
right, it's an area that our cultural music is huge.
Are you yourself?
Yes,
Definitely, especially with the Garifuna music.
Yes.
That's support. I mean, every year I wonder why the Garifuna music is not making tons of money. Everybody in Dangwiga should be a millionaire.
Yeah, it's marketing. It's marketing, and with the help of
Well, let's
foreign
hear
trade help
how-
process.
I'll come back to it, but let's hear how you all could help in terms of the fact that we in Belize are so overjoyed that the Garinago people in Stan Creek in Dangwiga are just, they're like Bob Marley, they're just natural, they just have that talent. How you all can assist in getting them through not only the music, but in fact start to sell, you all sell real estate in the region, no? We'll come
I
back
think
to
really
what you all do.
really, cooperation is the real to me that's the real key, where public sector doesn't sell anything, right, in terms of products or services. The private sector needs help to make the connection with the foreign markets. This is where we come in. You do expos. We organize expos through, I think, mainly through Bell Trade. What we do from our end is we could interpret the trade agreements that we've worked on, the economic partnership agreement, which allowed one of the supporting type of structures that allowed Andy Palacio to flourish in the EU market. That type of work that we're doing, also doing work with intellectual property, which I think is one of the big reasons why a lot of our artists aren't as financially successful as in comparison to the Jamaican artists. Because we often have this culture in Belize where we go, when an artist creates a new song, you'll hear the DJs on the radio. If you want us to play the music, just send me a copy of the song. Every time an artist's song is played, he or she should be financially rewarded for it.
Unless it's part of the promotion by the DJs, no?
And but we use it for promotion, but we don't have the proper intellectual property backing behind it. So a lot of people.
Well, why so?
I think it's just awareness of the rights.
By now, I mean, like Glenn Tillett and some of the artists about 10 years ago been fighting for that. You
There
were
is a
involved
law.
in that, yeah.
There's a law.
Yeah, but there are so many laws too.
Yes, and there is an institution set up by the industry. It's called BCSP to collect that funds. You're right. It's an education of our Belizean people
Yeah.
to participate in those trade agreements that we have signed in order to make this work.
Well, let's get back to the services week. This information is very important. I think it's really important for those who provide services, which is an intangible way of, being a contributing member of society. Within the services week, what are some of the events that are geared toward getting this information out and making sure that those who do offer services are on the right path to becoming not established within the region and the
Okay,
country?
so this week, or for this services week, we decided to focus on spa and wellness.
Okay.
And they've had a 2-day straight expose, I should say, at the office there. So anyone can go there and visit and see, what they're doing, what has been done. We're going to wrap up everything on Friday night at the Biltmore, a ceremony planned there at 7 p.m. More to what you had asked me earlier. Another example, the Film Association here in Belize just had their festival, their annual festival, and we were there. And when we got done, they realized, you know what, this is growing right now, the need for video, the need for film. Belize is a catchword now, people want to shoot in Belize. So it's a growing industry, and what happened? You know, things slowed down. They had an association. It wasn't very active, but now they're seeing through music, through the different associations, the benefits of coming together and being a part of the coalition. And now we're expecting them soon to join our forces, join our ranks, and go from there. And it's a tremendous way. We mentioned promotion, right? It's a tremendous way to give some young people an opportunity to help in the areas that we need assistance, like video, marketing, PR. You know, today in social media, these things can easily be disseminated.
Definitely.
You know, but you need it. If you notice it, it's not one person that can do it. It's an entire team. So everybody has to play their role for the one purpose.
Definitely, and I think it's also about being aware of the types of jobs that are available within these kind of industries. I know my brother is actually studying fine arts at the University of the West Indies. He's with a concentration in film, and I think that he's probably one of the few people in this country that have even thought about studying the arts as a degree. You know, how does the BCSP, what kind of initiative is in place to ensure that young people are aware that as it relates to services, offering services, you can be university educated, you can be capacitated to the extent of being recognized as being authentic, professional, equipped, so that you're able to contribute? What are some of the initiatives to facilitate that?
You want to speak to music?
Well, in general, that's where the elevation of standards comes in. For example, in the real estate industry, we've been functioning for decades now in Belize without any true regulations.
Kind of guidelines.
You know, no set licensing laws and all that. And we had a real estate bill that was developed back in the 90s. And never really gained traction till we got together about 10 years ago. And so we've been battling to get that enacted, and I think we have the support to get that done now. We've had to do some updating, modernizing and all that. That with licensing, we will also have to bring about certification. So there has to be a way to get people trained, to get them certified, get them to a certain level before they can even apply for a license. Now, to answer your question with that, people start seeing, listen, there's another opportunity for me here. Maybe I could take the certification course. Maybe I could see what I could do to better my situation. And again, through networking with different people together, that's how people start discussing, listen, you know, we badly need somebody in the lines of, let's say, surveying, or we desperately need somebody that's a proper sound technician.
Right.
You know, I'm just throwing out examples. And you know, the sad thing was that a few months ago, a friend of mine was invited to a showcase of students, what they were showing and their ideas for business. And I think 7 or 8 out of 10 of them were all food related.
Wow.
You know, and this is what's coming from our young people, and it's really because the exposure isn't there. The conversation isn't there, what is needed in our society now in the different industries. So their minds can go to where, okay, that I've always had an interest in that type of business or in that type of service. And that's one of the other things that the coalition does, is create awareness for the different gaps in our society, in our economy.
One of the ways we do that directly is there are several initiatives that we have, and some of it is ongoing because we're young. Is the certification that he talks about. Once people see that there is a need and that there's some certification that they can take to a particular employer and says, look, I'm qualified in this, right? In this particular services, then they see that there's an interest and a need, right? And so the Service Coalition is setting up these certification, because a lot of time some of these certification for services not necessarily have to be academic. They have to do with...
They can be technical.
Yeah, they can be technical, right? And those particular areas, we're trying to set up a certification process. We also have a program called Service Go Global, where we are certifying people, giving them instruction on what the global market is for services. So we have a program in place right now where people can actually do that Service Global course that will point you to where these services are and what the opportunities are right through the Service Coalition. Those are some of
Well,
the things that we do.
quickly going back to the role of the DFT, I can imagine that sourcing professionals, experts in the areas of service development is a really important part. How's that going in terms of getting persons who would be relevant and relevant to the industries that are necessary in our country?
I think one of the ongoing projects that we have with CARICOM that started this year is the development of a regional labor market system, which will have different systems housed in each of the member states. But it would be integrated, because one of the big things on our agenda is regional integration. How to really maximize and capitalize on the natural endowments that we have in our region, which is the CSME. This system, what it's designed to do would be to identify where our skills are, where we're going into the system administrators could say we have X amount of professional architects, X amount of lawyers trained in this field. It would be a combination of both the labor market system and a skills bank to identify what we have in Belize. Because we often find that we see, with law, for example, oh, we have too much law at Belize. But do we have so many lawyers trained in trade law, so many trained in international intellectual property? What are the specializations that we have? So that's something that we're hoping to realize from the system come 2017. We're getting the equipment, figuring by like the third week of December, right in time for Christmas. So it'll be to start entering data into the system and start doing some real quantitative analysis to know where we actually are, instead of doing more of a qualitative, cursory type approach to analyzing how our workforce is set up.
But your whole organization is basically the English-speaking Caribbean countries. It's just part of the CARICOM system.
Well, it's CARICOM putting the system together, because we're further along integration in CARICOM than with Central America.
We are.
So,
Go ahead.
Just one point, right? Those kind of assessment on countries' skill needs, right? What exactly our country actually need to grow. Also needs some direction for the entire country, so that people could line up on the kind of services and goods that they want, so that then people would say, this is the area where we are focusing our attention in developing, and therefore I would be able to look for jobs and skill myself in those areas. I think the Service Coalition is playing a little bit of that guidance with our partner at the foreign trade, not only on foreign trade, but also on the local domestic market. What those areas that we can capitalize on and bring in new income into the country, right? Products is doing great work, but some of those products are, those preferential treatments and those things that used to make them great at one point in time. Everybody is saying, let's diversify from that and see what other areas
Let's expand.
of revenue stream this country could have. And I'm saying, the service was downplayed for a long time. I think it's time now that we look at what contribution service could make. And if you look at some of the data that we are collecting, even peripherally, right, the service is giving more to our GDP than product. For the first time, we're kind of recognizing that. It was kind of like, we mind maybe, but now there is some
what
actual
services
data.
you're talking?
All the
The
services.
products are easier.
The products are easier.
Like what?
products are easier to
Products are easier to quantify.
But what services?
What
are,
falls under
for the
services?
viewers out there, when you say that services are as much as
All right, if you look towards, let's say for example, you look towards tourism, right? What are all the peripheral service that goes into making tourism work? Right?
It's very expansive.
Right, it's very, very diverse.
jump outside of tourism.
All right, jump outside. Let's go to real estate. Real estate is not just selling the land and the thing. It goes building buildings and buildings and services. It's transportation. It's surveyor.
You have the bank. You have, like I said, the builders. You have inspectors. Once the property is built, maintenance.
It's a large ecosystem of things.
It's huge. I mean, and it's spread out. And the sad thing is that I can't even give you a firm figure as to what that impact is. And that's really what I think Beres was trying to get at.
Because
as
it's not
well.
easy to.
It's not easy to quantify.
It's a global challenge
Yeah.
that even big countries like the US and some of these big countries in the EU have to quantify exactly
Yeah.
the benefit of services. We found some studies that showed that the trade deficit that the US has with China, a lot of academics are actually considering it to be inflated because of value added, which is something, a buzzword in economics and marketing, where we find like after sales services like the iPhone.
Yeah.
The iPhone might cost, they're looking at it at about 150 to about 200 US dollars to make, but when it gets on the market value is about $500-600. But that additional value added comes from after sales
The
services and
services.
all the support
Right.
services that Apple would provide.
Let
Yeah.
me give you an example
On
that
the
came to my
marketing.
mind very recently. I was reading an article on rosewood, and I was really knocked off my chair when they started saying what rosewood sells for in the outside market. They talk like $189 US for a foot of rosewood. And while in Belize, this is an old argument from George Gab days, he's against exporting the raw logs. Make the finished product.
There you go.
You know, a bed which is made out of rosewood in the market outside is crazy money. You then cheap $4,000 an ordinarily bed free. So I guess things like that are things that we could find, because we don't know down here. People chop anything, you know, like one car fence. People fence. Some people go and buy some leftover mahogany. How would they use mahogany for patch your fence? They use mahogany for throw in at the ground. And when in fact people could make a living and several families can eat off of some minor thing. So I guess it's lack of information.
Yes,
To get
that's-
back to the young, to get back to young people from this high school level, I think that's really where it's important to start focusing on getting to the young people with the correct information.
But it's hard because, you know, the big argument in Belize is the education system is a
And that's
Yeah.
the thing,
That's the thing.
direction.
Pen and paper
What
thing.
is
Yeah.
the direction?
What's the direction?
What are you
Yeah.
trying to achieve? What type of students or citizens are you trying to
Develop.
create? I mean, it's a sad situation. I'm a Rotarian, and we did an assessment of schools, a study to see what some of the schools needed in the neighborhoods where we work, and it was amazing. There was one elementary school with about 800 children, and they didn't even have a single computer lab.
Wow.
A single computer lab. And these kids go home and there's no computer home, there's no internet at home, maybe an uncle or somebody has a phone or whatever, but they don't have access.
This is recent. This is
to
a recent,
computer.
survey.
This
Yeah.
is recent because we started not to
Yeah,
stray,
definitely.
No, we need to know because we're talking
we
in.
started to supply certain schools and
I
bring up
thought
their
internet was
computer
free to.
labs.
I thought internet was free to all students.
Yes, but then when the computers are there and the computers get outdated and
Yeah.
nobody's maintaining it,
Not access it is a whole
you
other
don't have
story.
internet.
Yeah.
If nobody's maintaining the computers aren't being replaced. You see? Now that was about 3-4 years ago, but still, it's still this is
Recent.
very recent, and I'm telling you the situation hasn't improved much. Now these children are going on to high school with what kind of experience? You see what I mean? And that's the thing. We have to realize, I mean, as a business owner too, I keep saying, I had a tremendous business plan, and for the first 5 years, I went right up to it. But after that, my problem was human resources. I underestimated the
value.
problem we have with human resources in this country. It's just because we haven't been developing it the proper
Definitely.
way. This is another way to really hone in on different opportunities for people. A lot of the time people don't see opportunities. They don't, they look around, and that's why somebody say you can even start a business because somebody else can copy your business and start doing it, right? Why? Because people are looking for examples, they're looking for opportunities. The coalition is a body that will provide that beyond what you see on the street. This
Yeah.
is
But
But
something
you all are
that
a young organization.
Yes,
that's
sir.
my understanding.
Young but very
You have
relevant.
no kind of district presence.
no.
Strictly Belize City. right
Strictly
now?
Belize City right now, but we hope to grow, and we're seeing it. People
I think
are
what Jamie
opening
was
their eyes.
leading up to is you have a whole week and it's not clear to us. Meaning we want you to make it clear to the viewers. Like today is Wednesday. Is there somewhere where you'll have a display where you'll have listen, this is a list of things you can make money after if you have the skills right away. And if this is a list of things you could sell your services.
Sure.
Is there somewhere they could find it?
Sure, they could find it right at our office right here in Kings Park.
Park, is it?
At the corner, what's that street? Right by where Miss Bennett had her preschool.
preschool.
Right at the
Okay,
opposite
right,
corner
a
there.
BTL yard right beside
Yeah,
the
right in the back, right at the corner
The old
there.
black
You'll see the
building.
nice sign, bcsp.org. That's the website as well. A lot of useful information.
Listen, make I show the scene now that I'm trying to figure out, because for me it's difficult to figure out what the services thing. This extraordinary man that comes out of Jamaica called Usain Bolt, fastest human being in the world. Smalley Island, and yet all these big industrial countries with massive backactive sponsorship can't run faster than this man.
Sure.
So they had asked him like, first of all, he would be tested, retested, over-tested in relation to you must have some kind of, energy enhancement thing, that nothing there. So they asked like, what is part of what you credit for your incredible talent that you have? I tell him, my boy, I eat Jamaica yams, After that, yams they sell like crazy. They want the thing and get the energy, the nourishment out of Jamaica yams. We're talking about services. The kind of money where reggae music bring in, the kind of money where the sports people bring in these places, the kind of endorsement where they get. Because if you see both on product,
Puma is everywhere.
Yes.
hopefully he puts that money in Jamaica. That money is available in some credit union, some kind of half lending to promote other athletes who have a talent. But in Belize, they say nothing succeeds like success unless you know you're going to make it. You're not going to be attracted to go into any particular field. That would be a challenge for you all to have a list of areas where people will make money. That's what people are all over the world trying to do, make money.
Definitely.
That was exactly our challenge when we started. And we looked at all the services areas and says, these are the ones that we're going to focus on. We chose 5. Right? Because not because those were actually big success at the time, which I understand what you're saying, success breeds success. But those are the ones that had the financial opportunity to contribute to the country significantly. Right? And so we chose those, ICT and all of those other things.
So they were organized as well.
So those were organized, roadmaps were being made. We had professional people came in, studied those particular market, actually did a roadmap for each one of those industries.
What do you call a roadmap?
A roadmap is like
A game plan.
a step-by-step 4-year, 5-year plan of what we're supposed to do in order to get that particular service area off the ground.
Well, let me ask a simple question. Carry on the music thing, and time is running out.
Yeah, we're about to take a break.
Listen, you have perhaps the third most adored and popular singer comes from a country that Jamie is familiar with, Barbados.
Exactly.
This girl, Rihanna.
Yes.
I mean, like, she is
Huge.
huge is not even the
Not
kind
even
of
the word.
All right.
The right word.
How come? And this would probably be where your organization might be able to come in. How come we can link up with them people?
Well,
How come we can invite Rihanna to come to Belize and go to some of our fabulous spots, or we arrange so that some of our producers or music organizers, some of the artists could meet her? My impression of Tanya Carter is when she went and spent a little time in Jamaica. Look at the songs when she come back, when she put up, then the world-class top
World-class
songs.
top,
But they don't
absolutely.
have the marketing to promote it. But
Right.
music is big money, The
Big.
Americans, they promote music big time because it brings money into their country.
Absolutely.
We got this fabulously talented woman right next door. I don't know if she's selfish or she's open
No, she's
or
not.
whatever.
Yeah.
And that is only one example. What about other artists
Right.
who probably got some Belizean roots? When my daughter is reading it and say, oh, daddy, you know so and so. A mommy come from Orange Walk.
Yeah.
Rather tease her and tell her, you know Nicki Minaj?
Yes.
She's a Belize bloody, you know.
Yes. Yes.
We
So-
need to make some natural, straightforward links and bring in.
Networking.
Actually, some of that is being done at the CARICOM level, at the CARI Forum, at the CARI
Festa.
Festa this year. It's going to be changed a little bit, where we're doing some of that exact same thing, where we're getting, it's not
Links.
links, yes. It's set.
Okay.
CARI Festa is now focused now in creating those links. And actually, some of those same names came up to be at
Just
that.
as example.
Yeah, right, as example in there, so that we could look on it on a CARICOM level, because the market is huge.
Yeah,
I mean, huge,
yeah.
another word. The thing is, I have been saying that what this country needs to look at the talent. I'm not only talking
Across
about
the board,
music,
yeah.
but across the board.
Yeah.
The talent that exists in Belize. I think that should be our focus for our next big economic stream.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to end the conversation, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. And just to wrap up, to remind the public where they can visit the BCSP and, of course, the remaining events in the week, the services week.
Okay, the next big event will be Friday night
Okay.
at the Biltmore at
Okay.
7 p.m. That will be the wrap-up for the services week. Different speakers will be in attendance.
Oh, it's a kind of forum where they will talk?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so we will describe in detail what has been happening, you know,
What
where
time?
we're going for 7 o'clock.
At 7 at
Open
the
to the
Biltmore.
public, free, you just
Yes, sir.
come and listen, artists, anybody, musicians,
Yeah,
singers?
anyone that's curious, anybody that
Alright.
want to be, you know, to put something together like this,
Yes,
please welcome.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
All right.
We are going to take a quick break and be right back, so stay tuned.